So let's start again. Hi, I'm Graham.
And I'm Sean.
And we're the team behind SeansEyeView. And it's great to have you with us. So this is our 4th live stream. And here we are in Bangkok yet again.
Still,
yes, 6 years. Can you believe that, Sean?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I do think COVID messed with a lot of people's idea of time, and it certainly
it was pretty intense, wasn't it?
It was, but we're very lucky. Nobody wants to be stuck anywhere, but I'm glad we were here.
Yes. Yeah. It's nice. I think I'm still enjoying my job very much, and I like living here, and I think the quality of life we have here is great.
I was looking over the things we're going to talk about earlier, and some of the places we've not been to for a long time, and they're high on everybody's list to go and see and try out and maybe even live there. This is the longest we've been anywhere in decades,
and certainly in the longest lived in the same address as well.
For us, and for me, it's the longest I've lived in any one address since I was a teenager. And I'm very happy staying here right now and for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think with everything that's going on in the world.
Even before that, but now especially, yes. But even before that, we're very lucky. We're very, very lucky.
Hello, Win. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Win.
For getting in early. That's great to see you in the room. Okay, so what have we been up to then, Sean?
When was the last?
The last one was in October.
Okay, so quite a few months.
Yeah.
Christmas.
We'll talk about Christmas, New Year.
Couple of trips.
No,
a month.
A few.
Yeah. There's been
we've had a busy time. I haven't actually been on any work trips for a while. Makes a change.
Well, 2 months.
This year, it's already nearly the end of Q1.
Yeah, but you've had a couple.
Yeah, but they're all other trips.
Yeah.
Right. So where do we leave off? Last time we were just about to have visitors, weren't we? Nick and Julia came up from New Zealand, which is great. So good friends of ours, and we joined them on the last weekend of their trip down in Hua Hin.
Yeah, they had quite an extensive trip around the area, and we went down to meet them. Hua Hin we've been to quite a few times.
Yeah.
And we like it. It's a nice place.
Not far to drive.
Great beach.
Yeah.
And this time we stayed in a different hotel further to the southern end of the town, and a little bit unlucky with the weather, as in the way that it affected the beach.
Good morning, Mel. Hello from England. Nice
Hi, Mel.
To see you. We're coming up. We'll talk about Mel's visit again later on in this session. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed with the tides, though.
Yeah.
Now, Hua Hin has got this fantastic long beach, and if you follow our friend Wendy here on YouTube, you'll see that she goes for lots of walks on the beach, and I've done it at 6 o'clock in the morning with her. Nice long walk for several hours. When we went with Finn and Emma, I went for a walk with Finn, and this time the moon was in the wrong cycle, and there was no beach.
No beach at all,
apart from 1 a.m.
Super high tides.
It was the only low tide was at 1 o'clock in the morning when Nick and Julia and I took a bottle of red, sat in the dark on the beach.
Well, at least you had it.
Yeah, but it wasn't the relaxing stroll I was expecting.
No, you didn't get your morning stroll.
Unfortunately. We went to the market though, didn't we? That was good.
Yes, the night market.
Cicada,
yes.
Yeah, and we had lunch and dinner in a few different fancy hotels as well.
It was nice.
Yeah, so lots coming.
People have joined us.
Yes. Finn, hello,
Hi,
mate.
Finn.
How are you? Hello, Rizky. Welcome. It's nice to see you join. So yeah, Hua Hin was nice, and we might go back again soon, I guess.
Well, it was a slightly different angle because we've not stayed in that hotel before. The hotel was nice.
Yeah.
The Rock.
It's a nice,
down the bottom.
Yeah.
Much smaller, but very, very nice. Very nice.
I think we'll be checking the tides though.
Yes.
Right. So then, of course, it was time to go to Hong Kong.
December.
Yes.
Panto, Hong Kong.
So some of you may know or may remember that Sean and I used to live in Hong Kong
20-something years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah. We left 20 years ago.
Yeah. And Panto was a big part of Sean's life. And by default, I was a Panto widow when he was off rehearsing, drinking wine.
Lots of wine. With Hong Kong Players, the longest serving amateur dramatics group in Hong Kong. It's been going for over 200 years now.
Yeah.
And
our friend Josh, who 2 years ago was like playing the Dame, was going to be his last performance, and we went to see it, and guess what? He did it again, this one. So of course we had to go up for the weekend.
It's a fantastic show. If you're in Hong Kong or you ever interested in it, go and see it.
Yes,
good. They do a fantastic job. I was quite jealous of the production because we had a great time 20 years ago. We did our best and we had a fantastic time. now the technological backing of it.
Oh yeah,
it's just so much better.
Basically, what Sean's saying is they've all got better microphones than in his days when they had to project.
They didn't know. A lot of us didn't have mics at all. We had to project. Now everybody's mic'd up. It was fantastic. But as per, they get an amazing talent. It's so well done, and everybody does such a fantastic job. It was quite strange. As I said, we left 20 years ago, and we were there with friends who are still there. Some friends are on stage that I was last on stage with 20 years ago. And you'll meet new people. And, I was saying to one of the women on stage that, you were fantastic. You didn't speak for the first 5 minutes, but your character was amazing.
It was Beauty and the Beast. She was the Rose, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was the Rose. So she was just emoting as the Rose, and she did an amazing job. And I said, it's been 20 years since I was here. And she went, oh, which one was that? And I said, oh, Sleeping Beauty. She went, that was the first one I saw when I was 6. So I shrank. It was just made me feel very old.
Yeah, but it was also we went to a lot of the crew and cast after show drinks when we were there that weekend, and we were just bumped into people we hadn't seen for 20 years, and it's the same old.
Some of them hadn't aged, which is very disconcerting.
Arvin in particular,
and Carly, actually, all three.
Lots of people
don't age. It's something to do with the Hong Kong climate, I think.
Yes,
but it was really nice, and we met lots of new people, and it was as if. It was just such a nice time. We had really good fun.
Yeah. I mean, the area around the theatre's changed quite a lot, though, hasn't it? It was quite quiet.
Yeah.
Carnegie's are still there, though. The bar where
Wan Chai in general has quietened down, but some of the old names are still there. Dust Till Dawn, Carnegie's.
Yeah, we went out with Lorraine and Eugene. Excuse me. Afterwards, I went to Joe Bananas.
Oh God. No. Speaking of Lorraine,
yes. She was here. They were here last week.
Yes. I have a new shirt from our friend Lorraine, who is a designer in Hong Kong under the name of Mood Lab by
Lorraine. Yep. In PMQ.
In
Police Marine Quarters, PMQ in Hollywood Road.
Yes. Very funky, very stylish.
And this is possibly one of the more sedate designs. You can't see the detail on here.
There is detailing.
There's cross-hatching and different panels and all the rest of it. Lorraine's very vivid designer, very colourful, great socks.
Fantastic socks. And she will mail internationally. So
and she has a box of red wine next to the till for regular guests if you want to go in there on a Saturday afternoon and have a drink.
But don't tell her I'm your friend.
Oops. Yes. So yeah, we had a nice time. We went to a few old haunts, didn't we?
Yeah.
Walked around Hollywood Road area, the Cat Street Market.
Bit of shopping.
Oh yeah.
GOD, obviously.
Marks and Spencer's. Come on.
Well, that was a whole other
that
day.
was the last. So traditionally, when we go to Hong Kong for Panto before Christmas, what else do? You have to go and get your Stilton
and a lot
chocolate
of other things
and crackers.
Yeah.
And
chocolates and
so Sean is insanely jealous that Hong Kong now has M&S Foods on nearly every high street, and here you can barely get a pack of biscuits.
No, we can't get any food in Bangkok now. They've taken the food out of Thailand.
Yeah,
and even though it wasn't that big an offering anyway.
So yeah, we had a nice time. We had dinners and drinks with lots of friends.
Yes,
really, really good. Lots of people still live there. Hi, if you're watching, all of you, come and visit us in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you all soon. And then we went, we did a couple of day trips around Hong Kong. We went to Repulse Bay.
Yes.
And the Tin Hau Temple, which I hadn't been to since, I think, the first week when we moved there originally.
Maybe we've been there more than once while we lived there.
You might have taken some visitors. You took Jean.
I definitely took
Jean. Yeah. But I don't think I'd ever been there.
Really?
I know, that temple, it was the first time there.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's videos coming up from Hong Kong visit. And we went to Stanley, which was a little disappointing.
Because we're on the south of the island, the main Hong Kong island, it's not that far at all. But we were like, okay, we'll go make the video, have a look at Repulse Bay. That's been not upgraded, just built on. They've built a larger mall. Still a fantastic beach and a great place to go. It just now has more coffee shops and restaurants and things. Places to spend money.
Yeah.
But we were like, okay, well, we'll go to one of our old haunts, Stanley. They have a market, and also they had a lot of restaurants and bars and a lot of choice.
Yeah, we thought we'd go for lunch. Yeah. And there wasn't a lot of choice, was there? There was basically the Smugglers Inn and a couple of other small places.
Thank God for the Smugglers Inn.
Yeah.
Which is an old stalwart.
I guess.
But
COVID.
We were told Stanley never recovered from COVID. Murray House is now shut up.
So famously, we once went there for lunch, and we were sitting outside drinking, and it got a bit chilly, and we went to the market and bought jumpers, didn't we?
Yes.
And went back to lunch
with Joe.
Yes,
our friend Joe.
There you go. They even had them in our size.
Indeed, Stanley Market. Stanley Market was.
Hi, Carl. Hello. Nice to see you.
Hi, Carl. Thanks for joining.
So yeah, then we had a special lunch at somewhere Carl likes to go, which is the fancy restaurant on the Ritz Carlton in Hong Kong.
Which wasn't bad at all.
It's like 105. I don't know, 103, 104. I have to look it up. Very high up.
Very high. Wasn't the clearest day, unfortunately.
No,
but it wasn't a bad view. It just could have been nicer. But the food was fantastic. The restaurant was nice. Hotel was cool.
We did have a window site.
We had a fantastic table.
Yeah, we were treated very nicely.
Busy restaurant.
Yeah, special lunch. That was great. And then afterwards, we went to the West Kowloon Cultural District.
New for both of us.
Yeah, new for lots of people, I think.
Yeah. But it had only just really been started as we left. So the land reclamation had finished. The design, I think the designs of the park had finished, but none of the buildings were there 20 years ago. And so it was all new to us. There's galleries, office blocks, museums, restaurants, and a park.
And more views of the harbour. So yeah, you'll be seeing all that coming up in video soon. Yeah.
When will that be?
Some point.
The production pipeline is busy.
Rainy season's coming up some point. That means less going out and more time at home to edit video. Right, so then we came back and it was Christmas.
Yeah, quiet Christmas, but it was nice, fun, as per.
Yeah, we had the annual office party, which was great.
Yeah, I mean, Graeme means we hosted the 5th annual office party for his team.
Yeah,
which is always good fun. They're a great laugh, and they appreciate seeing a what do they call it? A real tree,
Christmas tree. Yeah, with all our historic.
It's not real. It's plastic, but it's as real as in decorated by a Westerner.
And obviously, shout out to M&S Hong Kong for some of the food that we brought back for that.
Definitely.
Mince pies, and to Williams sisters for bringing tree chocolates all the way from England.
Yes,
earlier in the year.
They were a great.
So if you're coming to visit us in September, October, or November, please bring festive chocolates.
Tree chocolates.
We know they're available.
They're not available in Bangkok.
Not here. They are in England.
Yeah. So then we were kind of having a quiet Christmas, but we did manage a little bit of a weekend in
Yes, so our friends Simon and Andrew were over. They come over every winter, and we went down for a long weekend, catch up with them down in Jomtien, which was nice.
It was nice to see them, catch up.
Yeah.
Went out for dinner.
Nice lunch. Yeah, good.
But the quiet Christmas was for a specific reason. Yes. Because early in January, we were treated to a friend's birthday party with a week in a hotel in Bali.
Yes.
A resort in Bali.
Fantastic resort, the Anvaya Resort. The video,
really nice. Very nice.
Video is live and has been very popular with Google search.
That one was rushed through. Yes. No, it was.
It was a fantastic resort. A lovely week. Trish, if you're watching, thank you again so much for inviting us to celebrate your special birthday. It was great to meet friends, people who I personally hadn't seen for over 30 years.
Of course you'd known.
Yes.
Yeah. And my first time meeting these people. Yeah. It was great fun.
It was really nice. And Trish organised a whole load of activities and meals, and we had a cultural dinner, and really enjoyed it.
Bit of dress up.
It was our first time in Bali as well, wasn't it?
Yes. The resort was really nice. Very, very nice hotel. Large, lots of choice, great pools.
Yes.
Plural, really nice time.
Yes, really enjoyed it. And I'll be going to see Trish in Bali in a few weeks. 2 weeks. Catch up with her.
Just ever so slightly on the Saturday, there was a slight, not mishap, but I was.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there was a slight tremor.
There was an earthquake.
Very, 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 very slight.
But no one in the hotel was that bothered. I mean,
no,
the room service guy still brought me chips.
That kind of like made me realize, okay, this is a land earthquake zone, whereas obviously Bangkok isn't. But I was a bit shaken after last year.
Yeah,
it was like, what was
we were in a low-rise resort. It was only
2 floors,
4 stories high. Yeah.
But it was still a bit weird. But it was a fantastic resort. Definitely recommend.
So I left the night before the end. Well, on the last night, I left and went to work in Jakarta. Conveniently, only an hour and a half away, or 2 hours flight.
And as Graeme was busy working, and tagging along for a work trip is not really much fun, unless it's somewhere,
Interesting.
not interesting, just somewhere that we know you're going to stay for the weekend, and
Yeah.
and you weren't doing that, so
No.
I took advantage and went somewhere that I've not been for 20 years, and I went to Singapore.
And what do you think?
I had a nice time. I'm really glad I went. I got to stay in a really nice little hotel just behind Raffles.
And where do you want to stay next time?
Raffles. But the Naomi, Naumi.
Yeah, the video is up on the site.
That's up. But fantastic hotel. Very small, really cute, perfect. Great location. You could walk into Raffles. You could walk to the marina. I didn't. I got grab everywhere.
It's too hot to walk.
It was too hot to walk, but you could if you're that way inclined. I had a great time. First time, the last time I went, Marina Bay Sands didn't exist.
Last time we went to Singapore, Finn, who joined this, was an infant in a papoose.
Oh God, yeah. And I recreated the photograph.
He screamed all the way around the night safari. Bless him.
There is a photograph of Finn and his sister Elle and his mum Ruth and dad John with Graham that I took on just outside of Raffles Quay, along from the hotel that used to be the post office, that name I forgot.
The
Fullerton. And so I found the shot and recreated it. Yes. I think I sent it to you. Did I send it to you, Finn? But it was good. It was a nice weekend. Looking through the list of trips made me think about, places we've been, places we want to go visit. And as I said earlier, I'm very happy living where we live now in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Singapore is nice. Singapore is very easy.
Yeah, Mel was there recently on the way on the trip.
Yeah, it's a great trip, and it's a really fantastic place to do a night or two on a stopover if you're going Europe to Australia, Australia to Europe.
Finn said he enjoyed the recreation.
Oh, the recreation.
Shame you didn't, find any small children to co-opt into the picture.
No. But as a place to live,
yeah, we thought about living in Singapore in the past. Then I've had jobs that nearly get to being offered a role there, but no, I think I'd still prefer Bangkok or Hong Kong over Singapore.
Definitely back then, it was definitely Hong Kong or Bangkok over Singapore. Now, I'm not sure about Hong Kong either to go live. Well, but because it's a different place, but I'm very happy in Bangkok.
Yes. So then we had some visitors. My godson Matt and his girlfriend Sophie came, and they're on sabbatical / career break / when are they going to go back? No one really knows. Where are they now? Japan. I think
they were here in February.
Yeah, they left England in November.
I know, and they're still on the trip.
Still on the road. Good for them.
They after us. They went around Southeast Asia. Then they went to a wedding in India, and now they're in Japan.
Yeah, awesome.
Wow.
And they went to Australia too.
That was before, wasn't it?
Yeah. We gave them lots of ideas. We sent them packing off to Laos, didn't we? But we had a nice...
I insisted I completely made them change their plans and insisted they went to Laos. And the comment I got back was something along the lines of, I can see why you like it because it's full of old people. Okay, thank you.
Excuse me.
More on Luang Prabang later.
Yes, Mel, you're right. Singapore is nice to visit, but you're right. A few days at a time, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe for one day, if I can afford it, I want to go to the F1 Grand Prix.
F1 Grand Prix, yeah.
Carl, you went to that, so I want to hear the secrets.
Yes.
Which hotel for the best views?
I'd love to stay in Marina Bay Sands. I'd love to stay in Raffles, see what they're like. But
yeah, it
not
needs a big budget.
Yeah, it's a big budget.
So Matt and Sophie came. We went and
had a great time.
Yeah, we went out a lot. We took them out and around and showed them,
introduced them to all the drag queens.
Oh yeah, well of course, that's mandatory. If you come and see us, you're going to get into at least one drag show.
Matt is the godson of Graham, but he's also the second of the Gamble children. We're still missing William.
William, where are you? Come and visit.
Will's got to come. And are they booked yet?
Yeah, Simon and Rachel are coming in.
So the parents.
They're booked on Qatar Airways, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens between now and September.
Yeah. Win, you can totally live in Singapore Airport. Yes, because there's a pret-a-manger. That's obvious.
Well, that's why I could live there. The Jewel, I was very impressed with the Jewel. Dropped the luggage off 6 hours early and just moved around the mall.
Yeah. So there's all the videos from Singapore are all up on the channel now, including some of the ones I shot when I was there in transit earlier. So yeah, it's really good.
So another comment?
That's it. You had brunch at the Mandarin and then watched Robbie. Oh, Carl, of course.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Ambition. I want to watch F1
Yes.
somewhere. So then we went to a special event here in Bangkok, didn't we?
Yes. First time.
Our first ever baby shower.
Congratulations to Wim and Lise on the birth of their son,
Lewis.
Yes.
He's 2 weeks old now.
Yeah.
We're going to go and see him on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, forgot that.
Yeah.
Cool. Looking forward to that.
Very excited. Little expat baby.
Yes.
And then, but because they're Belgian, and we were there, and it was at the dinner with Matt and Sophie, and they gave out, Lise gave out New Year cards and said to us all we had to open the cards.
We all had to open the cards
at the same time
while we were at the dinner.
And of course, blue glitter comes out.
Just a little bit.
So I'm like, oh, so you're having a blue child? And they're like, yes, a Smurf.
Dear.
Yeah, it was great. Okay. Then, unfortunately, I had to go to the UK, family issues. And unfortunately, after a long illness, my mother passed away. It was time. It was a quick visit. I only had a few days because of work demands. But the
notice.
And I didn't get to see as many people as possible, but we had a small funeral and it was live streamed. And those of you who watched online, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're able to support us. And we were able to raise over £1,000 for Dementia UK, which is a good legacy to do. And also thank you to Simon and Rachel for hosting me in London and other friends. Other friends, and Sam for coming across the country, and Georgina from school, and it was great to see a few people while I was in London. But of course, it did give me an opportunity to do 2 more travel stories.
More travel content.
Now, I was very lucky to get a reward tickets using my Avios to get to London for the funeral.
Yeah, with like 3 days.
With not much notice at all. And on the way back, originally, I had purchased a flight with Ethiopian. Now, so...
We did do a bit of research.
Yeah, you know me. If there's an opportunity to do a stopover in an interesting country, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And but unfortunately, I didn't get my free tour of Addis Ababa because I was able to get a reward back on Oman Air, so I skipped the.
Also, your stopover in Addis would have not even.
It wasn't very long, but apparently, if you have an over 12-hour stopover, you get a free hotel and a city tour.
Yeah.
So we may be coming back to Europe via Ethiopia at some point.
Apparently,
if we can afford tickets these days.
Let's see what
happens there. Anyhow, so on the way out, I had to go via Hong Kong, and I was in Hong Kong airport for the grand sum of 25 minutes. One of my suitcases was there for a significantly longer amount of time than that, but it was delivered the next day. And just as we took off on this brand new refurbished Cathay plane, all very nice, and I was in premium economy.
Sounds nice.
I go to touch the screen to have a look at the camera view, and all the lights go off and the power fails in the cabin, and we had no entertainment or in-seat power for 14 and a half hours.
But it is worth saying it was only the in-seat entertainment and lights.
Other systems did not fail.
The aircraft,
thankfully,
the
aircon and the kitchen was still going.
Well, there you go.
But it was old-fashioned way of flying with no TVs, no iPads, couldn't charge a phone. It was horrendous. People started talking to each other.
God forbid. Only didn't talk to you.
No, I made it clear I was not in a
just
conversation.
Put your headphones on anyway.
Well, I couldn't because there's no battery.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
Everyone was desperate trying to charge their phones. Anyway, so
Carl said he's not interested in F1.
Of course not. We don't watch the races.
No, we watch Drive to Survive.
We watch Drive to Survive. We want all the backstreet,
the pit
stop, gossip, scandal, and ginger spice.
Not anymore.
They might be back though next season. He might be buying a team.
Teaser.
Yeah.
No, we're not interested in the sport, but we watch Drive to Survive. Likewise, I don't follow football, but I watch Ted Lasso. That's my interest in sport. That's about it. We
were in an Irish pub our friend owns here, and there was football on the TV, and Sean's like, "Where's Hannah Waddingham?"
This is the most boring episode of Ted Lasso I've ever seen.
Yeah, right. So, whilst I was in the UK, you had a little trip too.
Yes, it was already. I didn't go back because the trip was so short, and also the notice was so short, and I already had a trip booked. there was lots of discussions over what we were going to do for that week. But anyway,
Yeah.
I had a trip booked to go back to Luang Prabang.
Yes.
Third time I've been there. Still my most favorite place.
So it's a UNESCO protected
World
Heritage town in central Laos on the Mekong River. Lots of temples and old buildings that have been restored.
The World Heritage
carefully.
site is tiny. The town is growing on the outside. It's just fantastic. It's just, if you are in Southeast Asia and you want somewhere quiet and chilled out, go there.
Yeah,
so it's just amazing.
Hence, we recommended it, and they said it was full of old people.
Matt and Sophie, yeah.
But other people who might be coming might want to go.
Yes, it's still a fantastic.
It's only an hour and a half away. It's not very far to fly to.
It's a great short hop for us.
Yeah, and then we had Chinese New Year, which was interesting. So we have 3 New Years in Thailand. We have January the 1st.
Yeah,
yay, fireworks. Then
Calendar.
We have Chinese New Year with lion dances, and there was a big display
fireworks
at the mall and all sorts of dancing things going on.
I mean,
that was quite elaborate.
They normally go all out anyway, but we had an animatronic dinosaur. We had dinosaur dragon.
Yeah.
We had flying
acrobats.
Yeah, a full
drummers going up on the air.
A full show every night for a week.
There's a video on the channel for it. Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah, along with the Christmas one, where I forgot to mention that we went round all the different malls and showed and the one at Terminal 21 looks like a gang of Santas was robbing the place because they're climbing up the inside. Anyhow, yeah, and well, after Chinese New Year, Mel came to see us. Hooray!
That was a fun weekend.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by, Mel. I know the last leg and getting into Phuket was a little bit stressful.
They were struck by the queues at immigration in Phuket.
2 hours from the plane to luggage reclaim.
That's a long time.
I know, it's ridiculous. And but we were in Khao Lak, which was beautiful.
So nice.
Yeah, I've still got the sunburn.
I've definitely still got my white bits from that. The burn has gone, but I've got my white bits. That was a lovely, a very nice weekend that felt longer in all the best ways.
So if you're interested, so Phuket is the airport that you would come to and that's at the north of Phuket Island, and then there's a bridge over to the mainland, and then you go north 90 minutes to 2 hours. Is beautiful. Yes, Mel, it was a fantastic place. Long empty beaches, nice long walks with small beach bars and coffee shops.
They were really good.
We had really nice sundowners.
Yeah, it was cool. The food was
watching the sun go down, the moon came up.
Yeah, lovely.
Drinking really cold beers.
The resort
chatting,
was nice.
Relaxing. I mean, the resort was busy, but we were at Le Meridian. There'll be a video coming. It had 3 pools, but Melanie, and of course, had a private pool villa. So guess where we squatted most of the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jean.
It was the pool area. Some places that have different pools are actually just next door to each other.
Yeah.
This place was spread out, and the pools were spread out. They were completely different areas.
But there was nothing next to it. There was it wasn't like other parts like Phuket and other places where there's resort after resort after resort after resort. Ian and I went for a walk in the morning, leaving the hotel, and we walked for an hour and a half before we did a U-turn, and we passed one other resort. I mean, it was just amazing. Lovely beach, very nice.
It's cool.
And then we did a day trip. Well, Sean didn't come because it was a bit of clambering in and out and snorkeling.
Clambering in and out of boats, which I'm not keen on. And snorkeling, I'm not very good
at. So the 3 of us went to Serene Islands, and thank you to Pook for the recommendation. It was fantastic. I have never seen such clear water. We got there. I mean, it was 5 a.m. start, right?
Another reason.
And we got to the boat, the transfer point where all the different minivans of people you transferred into your boats, and there must have been about 500 people there. Most of them were going to the Similan Islands, which were nearer, and I'd been warned that Similan was popular. Surin was so much quieter. It was another. Mel, was it about hour and 20 we had to do on the speed? It was on a speed catamaran, and we zipped across the sea. 5G coverage all the way.
I did the Find My Friends, and you were
in the middle of the Andaman Sea,
way out,
heading towards India.
Yeah, really were.
Yeah, and the water was so clear. We went to different snorkeling sites. We went to a local village. We had food and a lovely lunch, and then we were swimming Yeah, it was about an hour and a half, but it went so quickly. And I did a short video already, and there'll be a long video soon. But I mean, Mel and I were standing on the bow of the boat, and you could see the fish and the swimming amongst the coral. And then when I was snorkeling in the coral, you could see at least 20 meters.
Yeah, the photos
It was amazing. Yeah, it all went, and the boat went very fast. Yes, yeah, just a bit bouncy. But it was worth it. So, I mean, last year when Mel and Ian came, we went to Hong Island, which was fantastic.
That was really nice.
Yeah, on our private tour. And this year we went to Serene. So, Mel, when you come back, we have to go to another island. That's the law, right?
How many people were on your boat?
Oh, 30.
So not many. And we have a question.
Yes. Was it expensive for the day trip? I think we paid about 2,500 baht each, which included lunch.
So not really.
And transfers,
not for the time and the distance.
Water and drinks. I think the only thing we spent money on was knickknacks that we bought in the village.
Part of the tour.
Yeah, it was all inclusive. It was great. We didn't have to pay any national park fees. That was all included too.
And as a rough guide, 2,000 baht is approximately £50.
50 quid each. Yeah. No, it was really good. So I recommend Surin. I mean, it's not somewhere you can get to from Bangkok in a day. You have to do it as part of a minimum
trip down there.
A trip to Khao Lak, and Khao Lak was a 2-hour drive from the airport.
Yes.
So,
but it's still it was a lovely weekend.
Yeah,
really nice.
Really like to go back. So we've been, we haven't travelled since then, have we?
No, hold on. Before we left Khao Lak, you then spent a good couple of hours with Mel and Ian.
Oh yes,
planning next year's trip, which
I wrote up on the plane back from Phuket.
Yeah. So how's the planning, Mel?
Yes. Well, I think they're waiting to see what's happening with airfares.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So let's see. Lots of ideas, lots of travel ideas. We've got to stay living here so that family members can come on holiday.
As I said, no plan to leave.
No problem with that. No problem. So yeah, we went to a new art museum yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah. Very nice.
See, we're not just about travel. We do cultural stuff too.
Yeah. And as we said to another friend of ours, we're going to a museum, and their thing was, what? Culture, not drag? One of my most favourite places in the world is Victoria and Albert Museum in London.
Yeah.
Yes, DIB.
Yes, Mel, Donald. It's all his fault. Yeah. I know.
I'm not quite sure what DIB actually stands for.
Design. It's a Thai word.
Oh. I thought it was design something.
I've forgotten. Win. What does DIB mean in English, please?
Yeah.
It was an old steel factory that's been renovated, and it's a modern art museum. It's like a mini Tate Modern, isn't it?
It was really nice.
Really good.
There are quite a few very interesting museums in Bangkok and art galleries and everything else. Most of them are on the other side of the city to us. We specialize in malls and a few parks. This is really close to us, very close to us.
15 minutes away. It means raw, which is true. It was a raw metalworks.
Yeah. It's fantastic. They've done it really well. The building is nice. It's impressive. The exhibition was really good. It's an opening exhibition, so it may change, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
Lots of interesting things.
There were Thai modern works by Thai artists, some international artists, and some very large pieces, some very small. The video, there was one piece that didn't pass Sean's famous IKEA test.
I won't go into it.
But if you watch the video when it comes out, you can work out it involves some light bulbs.
Yeah. But it was really cool, and we had a coffee at the end, and the cafe was giving very 70s vibes. The music, the furniture, the crock.
They were playing Fleetwood Mac. They had brown cups and plates. They had it was straight out of a retro museum, wasn't it?
I did a short on Instagram, like a reel on Instagram yesterday, and the 2 pictures I took, I said to him, this makes me feel like some relative or neighbor's house in the 70s growing up as a child. It really was quite the time machine.
Well, see, we're finally cool again.
Hardly. I did have there was one thing they could do differently.
What?
They advise you to pre-book your tickets in advance, which is great.
Yeah.
But the check-in / ticketing /
the vestibule ticketing space was tiny,
not big enough, and you're sending your QR codes. Then you've got to scan this and give the bracelet, but the bracelet doesn't do anything. So it was all a bit.
But what is Sean's main judgment factor for any museum or gallery in the world?
I always rate anything like that by their gift shop. They didn't have one.
No, not yet.
They had a shelf with some merchandise,
but not.
And they were cute. There was a sticker sheet. There was a postcard. and there were post-it notes in the shape of the building.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's a big sign on the as you check in. It's like, we're cashless. Okay, that's cool because and then you go to pay for your merchandise with a credit card. Oh no, it's cash only.
Yeah,
just a little bit disjointed and needs sorting out.
Not the retail opportunity it could have been,
no, but definitely worth a visit.
Yes, absolutely, and
it's local to us.
Yeah, we'll be doing a video on that next week. Yeah, really enjoyed it. But yeah, so that's been our travels. We told you we've been watching Drive to Survive. But the big news is Drag Race UK versus the World, season 3. If you haven't seen it, now's the time not to listen because we're going to spoil it for you.
Yes.
Everybody in Thailand is incredibly proud.
Very happy.
Gordeland won. First Asian winner that wasn't judged by RuPaul in the previous series.
Yes. First non-Ru girl to win a title by Ru later.
Yes. Was it suitable for children? Drag Race or the museum?
The museum.
Bits, I think.
Well, nothing was like it's not that it wasn't suitable for children. Would they be interested? Possibly not.
There's the courtyard is great. So the courtyard has these large marble spheres, which is actually, when you think about it, is the solar system spread out.
Oh, it certainly suggests that. I didn't actually see the instruction on the detail. Yeah,
and but of course, fine, let your kid climb all over it if you want to make sure they don't fall off.
And you got dental.
Yeah, I wouldn't take kids there. Not if they can't behave themselves in a quiet place, I guess.
Well,
anyhow,
that too, yeah.
But Serene Islands, is that suitable for children? Yes, if you can get them to sit on the boat for an hour and a half each way.
And they're good swimmers.
Yeah, it was fun. Right, so what else have we been watching then?
Star Trek, the new one, Starfleet Academy.
You like that, didn't you?
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Season 2 should be coming soon.
Drive to Survive, we've just finished, yeah.
Drive to Survive was interesting.
And then there's a few film trailers you've been excited about.
Yeah, busy year for film. We're looking forward to that.
Which means busy year for...
Lego sets.
Sorry, Sean, I didn't hear that.
Lego sets. Hopefully, because last year we didn't get any for Superman. Hopefully they're already gearing up to do the Supergirl things.
And how many fake Spider-Man Lego sets have you seen already for the new film?
Well, no, I don't. No, I think they are official. What's it? Not
leaks.
Not commissions, but solicitations. There are 4 sets for the new Spider-Man film, which comes in June. But the pictures I'm seeing, I don't know if those pictures are real, but the sets are real.
We may have to move apartment, having lived here for 5 years, because we don't have any more room for any more Lego.
Or maybe we just get next door, which is currently empty, and use that as a Lego room.
Maybe we could turn it into a guest apartment / Lego room.
Really? That sounds dangerous.
An Airbnb it?
No, I'm not Airbnb anything.
No, not in this building.
No.
Okay. So if anyone at work is watching, I need a massive pay rise so that we can have a second apartment for Sean's Lego, please.
And I might even have to do a Lego or maybe YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you're watching regularly on YouTube, we're almost at the monetization threshold. So there you go. That's what we're going to spend the money on.
£7 a month.
Yeah. We might make a whole tenner.
Wow.
Well, let's see what happens. We promise to share the news of our YouTube revenues.
We are quite close.
Thank you, everybody, for the support over the last few years.
We do appreciate it, and we do appreciate everybody joining us live today as well. That's quite a lot of...
I mean, we've got nearly 3,000 subscribers now.
Yeah.
I'm sure people subscribe and forget. Well, I don't mind. There's 3,000 of them. We've got nearly 4,000 hours of watch time in the last 12 months. And we've had over 950,000 video views ever.
And it is Graeme that does.
And a lot of that is my team at work. Thank you all so much.
Thanks to everybody.
Every time there's a new video, work pauses for a bit.
Wow. I don't think you're supposed to say that.
Oops. Yeah.
We do appreciate it.
I appreciate it. So what we've got coming up then, I'm going to go to Bali, see Trish.
Yeah. I've got a problem with my foot, and as of today, my knee again as well. No. So I'm not going to go to Bali. And then we've just booked a long weekend in Phuket.
Yes, we're going down to Phuket. May Day weekend is a long weekend for us. Yeah. Friday and Monday off work, so can't stay here. It's summer now, And Songkran's coming up, the third New Year, the one I didn't mention yet.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the
actual
water
Thai
fight,
New Year.
the water fight New Year. So Sean will be spending the entire weekend
locked in this apartment. I have absolutely no desire to get wet by indeterminate people chucking buckets of water at me. If I'm lucky, if I'm unlucky, people with super soakers, sometimes powered super soakers, deliberately aiming at bits of you. No.
I'll be going out with some friends for a water fight. I've got some free super soakers that are massive that I got from one of our neighbours. I need to get the goggles and he gets the waterproof.
You have to have goggles.
Yeah, I'm going to get the goggles. I was talking to Chris about it last night. And yeah, I'm going to go and get soaking wet in the Songkran this year. May or may not take footage. We'll see.
Well, you have to...
I have to have a thing. Yeah, a waterproof thing. And then, as I said, summer will be over. And then rainy season.
Yeah, summer here basically means we're now being threatened with 40+ temperatures. And although weirdly in the last couple of weeks, humidity's not been that bad. Humidity is always the killer. It's coming, but we've had like humidity of 30%, which is crazy. And it's actually been quite nice. But 40+, 50 to 80%.
So if you wanted to come and visit, and I know, look, traveling at this time isn't easy. There are routes that don't go through the Middle East, and a friend recently just returned back to Europe via Chengdu on China Airlines, or Air China rather. He had quite a pleasant journey. Other routes are available. Ethiopian, potentially. Oman Air is still flying, and that was great. I'll do a video on that.
But what we would say as well, though, is obviously, hopefully, this is not going to go on for very much longer.
Yeah.
So if you think you might want to come stay, do let us know, because
we have
book early.
We have friends who've bought tickets already. Air quality, Ian, is this time of year is great. So when you were here, January, February is one of the burning seasons. So in the far north, it's really bad. In Bangkok, it wasn't brilliant. Now it's fine because the crops are growing.
We're getting visibility.
So it's the time of year when things are growing. When they get harvested, it'll be burning season again, which will be later in the year. We have two crop cycles.
2 or 3, don't we?
Yeah. But no, right now it's great, but it's just too hot to go outside.
It's definitely getting there now, yeah.
But on interesting news, a wine shop has just opened across the street from our condo.
Yeah, a new coffee shop, a new wine shop.
And a new steak restaurant's coming, and an Italian.
Gauchos, lots of choices.
That's all on the first level. Upper level is more health and wellness, so we're not going there.
Well, there's a massage place.
And a doctor's. There's also a weight loss clinic.
It's not a doctor's. It's
not
just
very
a weight
relevant.
Loss clinic. But yeah, we're doing good.
And I went to the Lebanese place the other night.
Yes, finally. Just as we moved onto the street, this fantastic Lebanese restaurant shut down for refurb, and they only opened in the last 3 months.
Yeah,
it took a while. But they're open again, and they're great.
So as I say, if you feel like coming out to visit, and if you're our favourite niece and you've got some time on your hands right now, you're always welcome. Mel loves a wine shop. Mel, I'm sorry, but I think you probably spoilt yourself now. So for the benefit of everybody else, Mel and Ian arrived in Khao Lak, having come direct from New Zealand with a suitcase full of New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc.
And they were there for what, 6 weeks?
In New Zealand, and then that was all drunk before they went back to England.
Good idea.
Yes, we do certainly have some, but I don't think it's going to be as good as what you brought with you on that trip.
We've also got the wholesaler as well.
Yeah, the wholesaler is true. Yeah. So what I was going to say is, I mean, Finn, you came in the summer holidays, UK summer before. It didn't rain much then. That was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather, the rainy season really is the worst from our birthdays, mid-August onwards. Our birthday night always ends up struggling to get home in a pouring downpour with loads of presents.
Yeah. Which is not necessary, the presents, I mean. However, we are now already...
I don't think we finished drinking last year's.
No, of course we
haven't. Or the year before.
But we are making plans for our birthday.
Yes, so if you're in Bangkok on the middle of August, get in touch. 15th. If you know us, we'll tell you where to turn up.
And if you know us, you might already know.
Yeah, you might have a good idea. Okay. Well, look, that's been 45 minutes. Thank you, everybody.
Anybody got any questions? Maybe not.
No, I think not. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a
Yes.
nice lunch, people in the UK and Europe, and have a good evening.
Have a nice evening in Hong Kong.
Cheers, Carl. You're going to come, you know where to come, middle of August.
It's been a while. Come on.
Who came last year?
I mean, that's when it's been a while since he's been.
Yeah. Hong Kong people.
Yeah.
We need to see you soon.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Risky. Thank you, Finn. Thank you, Win. Carl. It's lovely to have you contribute. Thanks very much. And I know people will be watching this on
After
replay. It had last one had over 1,500 views.
Wow.
On
Thank
the
you very much.
playback. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you again sometime soon. Yes, Carl says absolutely.
Good.
Good.
See you soon.
Book your ticket. Okay. Bye bye everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
See you later.